G'day, that safety guy here. These masks. So, supervisors, superintendents, owners of projects, if you're going to bring people in from out of province, out of country, off the continent, you might want to instruct them on the ways of Canada and Ontario, since we're probably one of the most highly regulated spots around the world. So today, a couple guys from way across the pond decided that it was too hot to wear pants. It was too hot. They didn't have to wear the retroreflective gear, the hard hat, and the safety glasses that are required by the site. Well, we don't have to do this back home. Dude, I don't care. You're not back home, are you? Are you going to say that same thing to a cop? Well, on the Autobahn, we're allowed to drive as fast as we want. Well, dude, I don't care. The workers have to do... Well, we're not workers, we're technicians. There's a fine line between worker and technician. So, if you're back home, knock yourself out. In Ontario, on a construction site, if you're building conveyor belts, say, you are a worker. And the worker shall follow the act and regulations. The worker shall wear the PPE required by the worker or by the employer and by the project. It gets a little dicey at times. That just because where you come from has a really shitty health and safety enforcement, not my problem. You're in my house, okay? In Ontario, the worker shall, okay? In Ontario, the employer shall, the constructor shall. It's here to protect you. Now, the main reason why I bring this up is I've got, say, 100 guys on a site that I'm on for the last little while. And they're all wondering why those guys up there don't have to wear glasses all the time. Why those guys up there are allowed to wear shorts. Why those guys up there don't have to wear their hard hat like everybody else does. So technically they're not part of the project, but they're on the project. What would be the harm in wearing pants? What would be the harm in putting on a hard hat and the glasses like everybody else? The fact that you got here to Canada during this pandemic crap, flew on an airplane, probably quarantined for 14 days, got a stick shoved up your face to make sure you didn't have the COVID, and now you're going to take a chance at work that, you know what, instead of following the act and regulations, instead of following the rules, you're going to take a chance? And just to add insult to injury, what they're building is actually a conveyor belt system full of chains and a bunch of other stuff. So they have these step-ups that go up and over the conveyor belt. And it's a chain-driven conveyor belt. They're not activated, they're not working. They're installing this system. So instead of, I don't know, putting a piece of 3/4 inch plywood or double that up and making a walkway across these, they're deciding to step up on top of a 6-inch piece of aluminum and make like Cirque du Soleil or like a gymnast and walk across a balance beam. No. Right? In Ontario, the platform, the walkway, the ramp shall be, what is it, 480 mil. Right? Or take the time, step up and over, step up and over. I know it's a pain in the arse. But again, you're 4 guys. I've got another 100 that are following the acting regulations and wondering why you're getting away with murder. So, people get upset. There's politics involved between an owner and a constructor because these people actually belong to the owner of the project. Not really my circus, not really my monkeys. However, inside this footprint, inside this construction site, this construction project, if they get hurt, there's going to be a fine line between who's at fault, how it happened, who's responsible. So, I guess the point of this is, if you're bringing workers in from out of province, out of country, or even off the continent, make sure they know, make sure they understand, make sure they're willing to follow the rules of the country they're coming to. They also have to wear CSA, Canadian Safety Association, Canadian Standards Association, gear. Hard hats, vests, boots, glasses. I don't care what they have across the pond that you come from. Doesn't bug me. I want you to wear what you got to wear when you're in Canada, because this ain't back home. So, again, owners of projects, supervisors, superintendents, employers, right? You're bringing people from off the continent. You're bringing people from out of province, out of the country. Make sure that they understand what the rules are, what the law says that they shall do. And don't tell that safety guy, the safety professional, that we don't have to do this back home. I don't care what you do back home. You're not back home. You're in my house. All right? So, wash your hands, social distance, don't lick your friends. Wear your face coverings if you can't, if you got to be within that 6 feet. All right? We'll get over this. We'll get through this. Do yourself another huge favor. Protect your sanity, all right? Don't go home after work tonight and watch the news and all this COVID pandemic overload on the TV and the death count, the count. Go home, go for a walk, take the dog out, take the wife out, because now in Toronto we can actually eat in restaurants now. Take the family out. Watch a movie, something. Don't surround yourself with all this negativity that's happening around the world, right? Break away from a little bit, and you know, we'll get through this, and hopefully a new sense of acceptable normal will come about. See you later.